Hello garden friends, today we're going to be repotting my ficus fig tree. We're going to be repotting it in this 16-inch pot. I already have one ficus tree that I repotted several months ago, and it's quite a bit bigger than this plant. Although this plant looks pretty good, I really have to watch it because it dries out pretty fast in this smaller pot. Look at the pot differences, can you see? But I know I'm going to be fine with this bigger pot. It's going to give it plenty of room to grow, and it's not going to be an issue at all. So I'm going to show you the other plant that I potted a few months ago and how much bigger it is. And then we're going to go out in my little greenhouse and we're going to get some soil. It's going to be some new soil I haven't tried before. It's going to be an organic soil, and we're going to see how it does with this ficus tree. I have really good luck with these, and I really love this plant. So I have, what, 3 of them in the house now, and they just go to town. They grow so well. First I'll show you the ficus tree that I potted a couple months ago at least. It's in my north facing window. It does really well. And then we'll go out and get some soil, bring it back in, and repot this plant. So you can see the size difference, right? These plants started out about the same height. But putting it in a larger pot really made it grow much bigger because it was able to expand the roots a little bit more. This smaller pot, although it looks nice, it just needs repotted. So I do not have to worry about it drying out in between my waterings. I usually water once a week. They're sitting about at the same level, aren't they? And that one's almost up to the ceiling up here. It's almost up to the ceiling. And then this one, you know, it's probably a couple foot, at least a couple foot shorter at least. So it's really going to love its new pot, and I think it's going to do well, and it'll be interesting to see how it does in the organic soil. So I'm out in my little greenhouse. So this is the organic soil. I'll show it to you in a little bit. It's got some sphagnum peat. And then I think I'm going to mix it with my regular Pro Mix that's got the perlite in it. So I'll show you what this looks like. So here's the organic soil. Kind of like the look of it. It has no perlite in it though, and I'm kind of used to that, and I kind of like it. But I really like the way this looks too. And what I'm going to do is just measure it out equal parts. We'll measure it out equal parts, and then we'll just mix it. And as always, here's my Pro Mix. Okay, what did I put? 3 or 4? I think I put 4 in. I think that'll give me enough for that pot. So now we'll just mix it up. I think it'll be a nice mixture. Feels good. Got it all mixed up nice, and this should be sufficient, be enough I believe, and it looks pretty good, don't it? Alright, let's go back in the house and plant it up. Alright, we got our soil. I got a little bit of time release fertilizer to put in, and I'm probably going to have to do this a little distance so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll kind of give you a close-up here in a minute. Alright, the first thing I want to do is put some soil in the bottom of the pot. I'm just going to use what I have here in the house and grab some soil. This works pretty good actually, this old strainer. And depending on size of your pot and where you don't and how you want to place your plant, I'm just going to put it in about, I'm going to say about half See what it looks like once I get it out of the pot. So now we got to pull it out of the big pot, right? So this might take a little bit because it's been in this little pot for a little while, but I'm going to set it down, and it's probably going to make a little bit of a mess here on my counter, but I'm okay with it. It'll clean up, right? So we're just going to take and pull it out. And it's good. Like I said, if it's hard to pull, there we go. Look at that. It's all done. Now here's when I like to inspect the roots a little bit. And I'm going to bring you in close for that. Now they don't seem too tangled, do they? But I'll take and tease it a little bit just to get kind of the roots loosened up a little bit, but especially on the bottom. But they don't look too bad at all. This plant's in pretty good shape. Just take and tease it with your fingers. Definitely making a little mess here, but I'm okay with it. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of time-release fertilizer, sprinkle it in. Just follow your directions. It's just them little round pebbles that feed your plant. I'm going to put that in right where the roots are. Okay. Alright, now that's too high for me. That's sitting too high in the pot. So we're going to take some out. Sometimes you don't know until you do it. Take one of these out, and then we'll see what it looks like. Alright, that's a little bit better. That's sitting in there a little bit better. I like that. Can you see it? Right like so. And I had time-release fertilizer in there already. So that could be a good indication why it's done so well. Now you'll just fill in with soil around the whole root ball, okay? Kind of centered in the pot. I know you might not be being able to see what I'm doing, but we're just filling it in. Works really well. And just fill it in and kind of tap it in a little bit. You don't need to pack it real tight. Keep filling until you get it to the level of the main root ball, okay? You want to have a little clearance in the pot. You don't want it clear up in your pot. You want it down about a couple inches or so, the whole plant. So I'll just finish up here and get the soil put in. Kind of move it around, shake it around, let it get settled in. It looks really good. I'm going to get you a different view here. So now you can see it better. Got it about, I don't know, about an inch or so. You can do it a little further if you want, but it looks good. I like to water these from the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some more of my time-release fertilizer, and you don't have to use this, and sprinkle it on the top. You can use whatever fertilizer you prefer, but this just feeds it for a while. And that's what I had the other one, and it was doing really good in that small pot. And I just kind of work it in the soil. Now what you can do, tap it down. There we go. And just see if you need any more soil. Now this could settle a little bit once it gets watered and stuff, and you can always add more soil. So let's look at the finished product. There it is. It's going to be so much happier in this big pot, and it's going to grow so much faster. I really don't need it to grow fast because I'll just have to trim it in my home. Let me show you the mother plant again. I know a lot of you have seen this, but I like to share where these plants came from. When I rooted them in water, where did they come from? They came from this mother plant. This plant is over 30 years old. And I really kind of have to watch it to keep it watered. I will get yellow leaves now and then because it needs more water. A lot of times I'll just shake it and to get the leaves that are just drying out. But, I mean, it takes a lot of water, so I do water it really well, once a week normally. But it looks pretty good. I trimmed that good in the spring, and it's just doing really well. I just really love this plant, but I was always afraid that I might lose it, you know. So that's why I made more. You know, I propagated early spring when I seen new growth coming. I propagated, and then by putting it in water, and you can see some of them videos that I have on how to do that. But I was always worried, right? And you too, you know, you always want to make sure you have a backup plant if you really love a certain house plant that you own. But it's in my east window and it does okay. All right, so we're all done. Now I'll put a lid or something to hold the water underneath and just water it from the bottom. That's what I like to do, and it works well. So what do you think? Worked out pretty well. I have had good luck with these in the east window, north window, south room in our home. I've just had really good luck with them. But you know, if they do not like to dry out. So if they do, you're going to find out you get yellowing leaves and then they fall to the floor. But they always are growing new ones, and you can always trim these back and cut off all the dead branches and just rejuvenate the plant. Good time to do that is early spring. I mean, I like to clean up my plants in early spring. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and if it helped today. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. It's happy in our south facing room. It isn't by the window, but it gets really good lighting here, so I think it'll be happy.